Welcome aboard this journey of consciousness expansion here at Quantum Genesis. It's fascinating to observe how our minds have been trained to see life through a narrow, linear corridor, where the past is left behind as something immutable, and the future is an uncertain mist yet to be built. However, for quantum physics and scientific spirituality, this perception is merely an optical illusion of our 3D dimension. Imagine that time is not a line, but a vast and deep ocean, where all waves representing every possible version of your life exist simultaneously. In the zero-point field, that infinite space of energy that sustains all matter, there is no not yet. There, the version of you who has already achieved financial freedom, a fulfilling relationship, or perfect health already vibrates with the same intensity as your current version. The big issue is that our limited senses make us believe we are walking step by step, when, in truth, we are simply navigating between frequencies already available in the here and now of the multiverse. To understand how this applies to your routine, think of your life as an infinite video streaming service. All seasons and episodes of every possible series are stored on the servers, the zero-point field. The fact that you are watching an episode of the scarcity or stagnation right now doesn't mean the episodes of success and abundance don't exist. They simply aren't being broadcast on your screen at this exact moment. The leap in consciousness begins when you stop trying to create up the future and start understanding that your role is that of a tuner. By changing your perception that time is a rigid flow, you disintegrate the anxiety that something takes time to happen. In quantum reality, the distance between you and your desire is not measured in meters or days, but in resonance. If you feel separated from your goal, it's because you are still operating in the logic of linearity, believing you need to climb an endless ladder, when in fact you just need to change the channel within the same room. Let's bring this to the factory floor of your daily reality with a practical example. Imagine you wake up and receive an unexpected bill. The linear, automatic reaction is to feel fear, look at the past, where money was lacking, and project a future of more hardship. At that moment, you locked yourself into a specific timeline. The leap of consciousness here would be to breathe and recognize, this bill is just a fragment of a timeline I'm collapsing now, but the timeline of total abundance is also real and occurring simultaneously. By not emotionally identifying with the problem, you stop feeding that version of reality. It's like being in a GPS. If you miss a turn, it recalculates instantly. In the quantum universe, this recalculating happens through your observation. When you understand that your prosperous white self already exists and is just waiting for you to adjust the frequency to meet it, the weight of grueling physical effort is replaced by the lightness of conscious choice, allowing the magic of manifestation to take over. Modern science, through experiments like the double slit, has already shown us that the observer alters reality by the simple act of observing. This means your consciousness is not a passive spectator of the world, but the very tool that solidifies energy into matter. If you keep focusing on the same problems, the same pains, and the same limitations, you are literally using your divine power to freeze the same timeline repeatedly. This is what we call quantum addiction. To break this cycle, a shock of lucidity is required. The realization that your past does not determine your present, but rather the way you observe your now. You are an architect who has access to infinite blueprints at the same time. The complexity of changing your life is actually a simplicity that our logical mind resists accepting, as we were taught that everything must be difficult and slow. But in the realm of the creation codes, the speed of light is the lower limit, and your intention is the master command. Finally, we need to dive into the understanding that this quantum simultaneity is what allows your double to exist. Imagine there is a version of you who has already solved every problem you face today. This version doesn't live in a distant future. It lives in a different frequency, in a fold of time that cutting-edge physics studies as the doubling of space and time. You are connected to this version by invisible threads of information. However, as much as all these wonderful possibilities are floating around you like particles of light, most people spend their entire lives hitting the same key, living the same day 1,000 times and calling it fate. The secret to breaking this inertia and jumping to the reality you wish to live doesn't lie in a drastic external change, but in a fine-tuning of your internal gears of perception. But if all versions exist now and are within your reach, why do you remain stuck in the same one? Why, even when you want to change, do patterns repeat like a scratched record? The answer isn't in what you do or how much physical effort you exert, but in who is collapsing the wave function and how that communication with your faster self is established. And we will understand exactly how that mechanism works next. The quantum double, the science behind the future self. Now that we have dismantled the illusion of linear time, we must enter the most revolutionary territory of this journey, the science of the quantum double. This isn't just a metaphysical metaphor. It is grounded in the space-time doubling theory proposed by the physicist Jean-Pierre Garnier-Mallet. Science suggests that time is not continuous, but composed of imperceptible instants, tiny gaps between the moments we perceive as a real. In these gaps, there is another version of you, a double, that operates in a much higher frequency, literally processing information at speeds exceeding the speed of light. While your 3D physical body is limited by the density of matter, your quantum double lives in the realm of fast time, where it can explore thousands of potential futures and bring back the best solution to your present, slow time. Think of your quantum double as a highly advanced scout sent ahead into a dense forest. While you are struggling to find a path through the trees, your double has already flown over the entire forest, mapped the rivers, found the clearings, and identified the dangers. Because this version of you moves at superluminal speeds, it experiences what we call the future as a finished map. In the sub-niche of quantum manifestation, we understand that this connection is the true bridge to the creation codes. You are not alone in your decisions. You have a version of yourself that is pure intelligence and pure potential, waiting for your signal to guide your physical steps toward the timeline of least resistance and greatest expansion. This is the ultimate life hack of the universe. You don't have to figure everything out yourself because a part of you already has. Let's apply this to a real-world scenario to make it tangible. Suppose you are facing a major career transition and you're paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice. The linear you tries to calculate risks based on past data, which only leads to more of the same. The quantum you, however, invites the double into the equation. By recognizing that your double has already navigated all possible outcomes of this transition, you stop trying to force a result. Instead, you begin to act as a receiver of information. You might find yourself suddenly having a gut feeling to call a specific person, or you might stumble upon a book that contains the exact answer you needed. These aren't coincidences, they are information packages sent by your double from a faster timeline to your current reality. You are literally being pulled by your future self instead of pushing through your past. This relationship is built on the principle of quantum non-locality. In the world of creation codes, distance and time do not separate you from your double, only your frequency does. When you are in a state of stress, anger, or deep doubt, your vibrational noise creates a barrier that makes it impossible to hear the subtle guidance of your faster self. It's like trying to listen to a whisper in the middle of a heavy metal concert. The mastery of manifestation lies in learning how to quiet the 3D noise so that the superluminal information can flow into your conscious mind. This is why many people feel stuck. They are trying to solve problems at the same frequency they were created, ignoring the fact that the solution is already vibrating right next to them in the fast time arc of their double. To truly utilize this, you must understand that the quantum double is a reflection of your potential, not a separate entity. It is you, devoid of the filters of fear and the limitations of the biological brain. When you align with this version, you stop being a victim of accidents and start becoming a master of synchronicities. You begin to move through life with a strange, calm certainty, knowing that the future is being curated by the most intelligent version of yourself. This is the transition from a struggle-based life to a flow-based existence. You are essentially upgrading your internal software to a version that has already seen the end of the movie and knows exactly which path leads to the happy ending. The double is your best consultant, but it only responds if you know how to send the correct signal. There is a specific frequency key for this communication, a precise energetic handshake that ensures your requests are heard and your path is cleared. Without this key, you are just shouting into the void. I'm going to reveal exactly what this key is and how to use it in the very next step. The quantum vacuum and the reservoir of possibilities. To truly master the art of choosing your reality, you must first understand where these realities live before they manifest in your physical world. Welcome to the quantum vacuum, which, despite its name, is far from empty. In the realm of scientific spirituality, the vacuum is the zero-point field, an infinite, bubbling sea of energy and information that contains the blueprint for everything that ever was, is, or could be. Imagine it as a cosmic library that holds every possible version of your life story in high definition. This means that the wealthy you, the healed you, or the spiritually awakened you, is not a fantasy you need to build brick by brick from scratch. Those versions already exist as stationary waves of probability within the vacuum. You don't have to create the gold, you just have to find the frequency where the gold is already shimmering. The most profound shift in the quantum manifestation niche occurs when you stop being a producer and start being a tuner. Most people exhaust themselves trying to manipulate the 3D world through sheer force of will, working 80 hours a week or forcing relationships hoping to create a result. But in the world of creation codes, we operate like a sophisticated radio receiver. If you want to hear jazz, you don't build a jazz band inside the radio. You simply tune the dial to the frequency where the jazz is already playing. The quantum vacuum is broadcasting every life station simultaneously. Your current reality is simply the station you are currently tuned into. The moment you shift your internal dial, the music of your life changes, because you've accessed a different reservoir of possibility that was there all along, waiting for your recognition. Let's apply this with a practical example that resonates with your daily life. Imagine you feel stuck in a dead-end job. The old paradigm tells you to fight, complain, or desperately send out resumes from a place of lack. The quantum approach is different. You sit in the silence of the vacuum and recognize that the dream career timeline is a real, existing frequency in the field. Instead of looking for a job, you begin to embody the frequency of the person who already has that career. You start noticing synchronicities, perhaps a random conversation at a coffee shop or a specific code, like seeing repetitive numbers like 1111 or 88, that signals your alignment with that reservoir. You aren't making the job appear. You are making yourself visible to that reality by matching its energetic coordinates. This is where the concept of the creation codes becomes vital. These codes are like the digital IP addresses of specific timelines within the quantum vacuum. Every desire has a mathematical and vibrational signature. When you learn to input these codes into your consciousness, you stop drifting aimlessly through the sea of possibilities. You become a precision navigator. It's the difference between rowing a boat in the dark and having a state-of-the-art GPS that locks onto your destination. By understanding that the vacuum is a friendly, intelligent field that responds to your resonance, you drop the struggle narrative. You realize that the universe is not withholding your desires. It is simply waiting for you to stop broadcasting the frequency of I want and start broadcasting the frequency of I am. As we explore this reservoir of infinite potential, it's important to remember that you are a co-creator with the divine intelligence of the field. The vacuum is the canvas, and your consciousness is the brush. However, many people find themselves tuning in to a new station, only to have the signal drop or return to the old static of their past. This happens because manifestation isn't just an intellectual exercise or a fleeting thought. It's a deep, systemic resonance. You can't just think about the new timeline. You have to anchor yourself into it. This is where the true work begins, moving from the theory of possibilities to the actual lock-in of your chosen destiny. Before we move deeper into the mechanics of this lock-in, if this content is expanding your vision of what's possible, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Quantum Genesis. By doing this, you are practicing the law of reciprocity. You receive high-level wisdom and, in return, you help this frequency reach more seekers. It's a simple act that signals to the universe that you value the flow of abundance and knowledge. However, Syntonizing is not just about thinking positively or visualizing for 5 minutes a day. You may have the right radio station in mind, but if your equipment is faulty, you'll never hear the music clearly. There is a trava electromagnetica, an electromagnetic lock in your heart that often prevents the connection with high-frequency lines. If this lock is closed, no amount of positive thinking will bridge the gap to the quantum vacuum's best possibilities. We are going to unlock it right now in the next topic. The vibrational signature, your address in the multiverse. To navigate the infinite possibilities of the quantum vacuum, you need more than just a wish. You need a precise coordinate. In the sub-niche of quantum manifestation, we call this your vibrational signature. Imagine you are a living radio station, transmitting a constant signal into the fabric of reality. This signature isn't just made of your words, it is the electromagnetic fusion of your thoughts and your feelings. The brain generates the electrical impulse, the intention, the image of what you want, while the heart generates the magnetic field, the emotion, the feeling that it is already real. When these two centers are not in harmony, your signal to the multiverse becomes noise, and your desired reality remains a ghostly probability, never solidifying into your physical experience. The science behind this is what we call heart coherence. The heart possesses the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body, being about 5,000 times magnetically more powerful than the brain. If your thought says, "I am prosperous," but your heart vibrates with the fear of scarcity or unworthiness, you create a dissonance that cancels the collapse of the wave function. It's like trying to drive a car by hitting the gas, thought, and the brakes, feeling, at the same time. To the multiverse, your signature is the arithmetic average of what you think and what you feel. Therefore, to choose a new timeline, you don't need to ask the universe for anything. You need to adjust your biology to emit the exact frequency code of that reality, turning your body into an irresistible magnet for the events you wish to attract. Let's apply this to a real-world example. The search for an ideal relationship. Many people visualize the perfect partner, electrical impulse, but spend their day feeling the sting of loneliness or disbelief in love, magnetic field. The vibrational signature they emit is absence. To change this, you must practice emotional anticipation. Upon waking, you must flood your cardiac field with the gratitude and warmth of already being loved, before any physical evidence appears. When you can sustain this state, your biology begins to believe the experience has already happened. The multiverse, being a perfect mirror, has no choice but to rearrange external circumstances to match your internal state. You don't find love, you tune into the timeline where it is already your current address. This is the secret of the creation codes applied to human physiology. Your physical reality is merely the delay or the echo of your vibrational signature from a few days or weeks ago. If you want to know what your future will be, simply observe the predominant feeling you carry right now. If you live in a state of chronic stress, you are emitting a survival code, which locks you into timelines of struggle and resistance. On the other hand, joy and appreciation are the high-voltage codes that unlock lines of miracles and quantum leaps. Conscious personal mastery requires you to become a guardian of your own frequency, refusing to let external circumstances dictate the tone of your magnetic field. Understanding the vibrational signature is like discovering you've always had the combination to the safe, but you were trying to dial it with the gloves of the ego on. When you align thought and feeling, you enter a state of quantum superflow, where manifestation stops being an effort and becomes a natural consequence of your existence. However, the biggest challenge isn't reaching this frequency, but maintaining it. Often, we slip back into the old frequency without noticing, as if an invisible gravity is pulling us back to mediocrity. This happens because our subconscious mind is programmed to keep us safe in what is familiar. This is profound knowledge that few have access to. If this script is opening portals of understanding in your mind about how your reality is constructed, leave a comment below with the phrase, "I am the architect of my frequency." We want to know who the seekers are that are truly committed to mastering their vibrational signature here at Quantum Genesis. Your current signature may be unaddicted to a timeline of scarcity or repeating mistakes without you realizing it, running like a background computer program. The reason for this lies in something most people ignore: the way your brain interprets what we call choice. There is an exact moment where possibility turns into reality, and understanding this mechanism is what differentiates those who manifest from those who merely dream. And we are going to explore this bifurcation point right now. The bifurcation point, the moment of the wave function collapse. In the study of quantum manifestation, there exists a precise now that we call the bifurcation point. This is the microscopic instant where the path you are walking splits into two or more distinct directions. Science describes this as the collapse of the wave function. Before you make a choice, whether it's a choice of thought, emotion, or action, all potential futures exist as a blur of possibilities. However, the moment you commit to a specific internal state, the blur vanishes, and one single reality solidifies into your timeline. Most people miss these points because they live on autopilot. But for the conscious creator, these moments are the steering wheel of the soul. This is where the quantum butterfly effect comes into play. In chaos theory, a small flap of a butterfly's wings can eventually cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. In your life, a micro-choice of perception during a moment of crisis can exponentially alter your macro destiny. For instance, when you encounter a setback, your brain reaches a bifurcation point. You can choose the old path of, "Why does this always happen to me?" collapsing a timeline of victimhood, or you can choose the path of, "What is the hidden opportunity here?" collapsing a timeline of mastery. That small shift in the art now ripples forward, changing who you meet, what ideas you have, and which doors open for you 10 years down the road. To see this in action, imagine you are in a high-stakes meeting and someone criticizes your work. Your biological instinct is to get defensive. This is the path of the old self. At that exact microsecond, you hit a bifurcation point. If you choose to pause, breathe, and view the criticism through the lens of creation codes, as data for growth rather than an attack, you have just collapsed a different function of the wave. That single decision to remain in a high-frequency state instead of dropping into anger changes the entire trajectory of that afternoon, which changes the outcome of the project, which eventually changes your professional status. You didn't just handle a situation, you jumped onto a different track of existence. The beauty of the bifurcation point is that it happens thousands of times a day. You are constantly at a crossroads. The challenge is that our brain is a prediction machine that loves to choose the path of least resistance, which is usually the path you took yesterday. To truly select a new reality, you must develop the quantum awareness to catch yourself at these points of split. You must become the observer who stands outside of the reaction. When you realize that your internal response to the world is the actual vote you are casting for your future, you stop taking your emotions lightly. You start to see that choosing joy isn't just a cliché, it is a tactical, scientific maneuver to secure a specific timeline. By mastering these moments, you transition from being a piece on the chessboard to being the player. You begin to understand that your life isn't a single, fixed story, but a choose-your-own adventure book where you can change the ending at any page. This is the essence of conscious personal development, the realization that you are not waiting for a big break to change your life. You are waiting for the next bifurcation point, which is happening right now. Every second is a fresh opportunity to collapse a wave of abundance rather than a wave of lack. A single emotional choice today can truly put you 10 years ahead on the timeline of prosperity. But here is the catch. How can you ensure that this choice isn't being secretly sabotaged by your ego, which is terrified of the unknown? To stay locked into the high-frequency path, you need a set of protocols that bypass the ego's defenses. This is exactly where the creation codes come in. The specific keys that anchor your choice into the fabric of the universe. Creation codes, the programming language of reality. If the universe is a holographic projection, as many quantum physicists now suggest, then it must have an underlying code, a software that dictates how energy hardens into matter. In our niche of scientific spirituality, we call these the creation codes. These are not just mystical symbols. They are specific frequencies and geometric patterns of intention that act as the input for the cosmic matrix. When you learn to use these codes, you stop praying for change and start programming it. You begin to understand that your decisions are not just psychological events, but moves in a game of sacred geometry. Every choice you make creates a ripple in the space-time fabric, reconfiguring the grid around you to match the mathematical signature of your intent. To visualize this, imagine that the space around you is a hyper-responsive, smart fluid. This fluid is the ether, or the zero-point field. When you apply a creation code, which is a thought held with a specific emotional intensity, you are essentially imprinting a shape onto that fluid. This is the sacred geometry of decision. A decision made from fear creates a chaotic, fractal pattern that collapses into a dense and difficult reality. A decision made from the alpha state of certainty creates a coherent, crystalline structure that allows the life force to flow without resistance. By consciously choosing your internal geometry, you are literally reweaving the mesh of your personal space-time, making it impossible for the old problems to find a place to land in your new reality. Let's look at a practical application of these codes. Suppose you are using the code of expansion to grow your business. Instead of just wanting more clients, you use a specific vibrational anchor, perhaps a sequence of gratitude combined with the visualization of a golden torus field around your work. You are essentially tagging your intent within the matrix. When you go about your day, you aren't looking for opportunities. You are seeing the world through the lens of that code. Real-world example. You might feel a sudden, coded, urge to change the title of a project or reach out to a contact you haven't spoken to in years. These are not random thoughts. They are the matrix responding to the new programming you've installed. You have changed the source code of your environment, so the external world must update its user interface cows to match. The beauty of the creation codes is that they bypass the lag time of the physical world. In the 3D realm, we are used to a slow process of cause and effect. But when you operate at the level of the code, you are working at the level of the cause itself. You are talking to the universe in its native tongue, mathematics and frequency. This is why certain people seem to have magical lives where things just fall into place. They have unconsciously or consciously mastered the syntax of the matrix. They don't fight the shadows on the wall. They change the object that is casting the shadow. By aligning your daily micro-decisions with these higher geometric blueprints, you are ensuring that your timeline isn't just a better version of the old one, but a completely different category of existence. However, many seekers make the mistake of trying to force the code through sheer mental strain. They repeat affirmations like a robot, wondering why the matrix isn't responding. The secret is that the enter key on this cosmic keyboard is not your effort, but your state of being. To successfully upload a new creation code into your reality, you need a high bandwidth connection to your quantum double. Without this connection, your codes are like a computer trying to download a massive file on a 1990s dial-up modem. It's slow, glitchy, and often fails. To truly install your new reality, you must access the bridge between the conscious and the superconscious. These codes are the map, the blueprint of your new life. But the fuel that drives the manifestation process is actually found in your sleep. Did you know that the most potent contact with your quantum double, the moment where the upload actually completes, happens during the transition into the alpha-theta state? Your nights are not for resting. They are for reality hacking. I am going to show you exactly how to program your subconscious to handle this data transfer while you sleep, so you can wake up in a different world. And we will cover that in our next step. The sleep protocol and the timeline update. If the day is the stage where you act, the night is the laboratory where the script of your reality is written and revised. According to the space-time doubling theory, sleep is not just a biological recovery process, but a vital quantum function. During the phases of deep sleep, and especially in transition states, your consciousness travels to meet your quantum double. It is in this informational exchange that you offload the day's experiences and receive coordinates for potential futures. The sleep protocol consists of using this temporal vacuum of the night to clear the negative potentials you inadvertently collapse during the day and update your biology to operate on a superior timeline as soon as you open your eyes in the morning. The fundamental technique for this conscious falling asleep involves total surrender of your concerns to your faster self. Imagine that all your anxieties, debts, or fears are corrupted files on a computer. If you go to sleep focused on them, you are asking your double to process more of the same. Instead, the protocol requires you to ask your double to clear these potentials. Upon entering the alpha state, you must visualize your problem being handed over to a version of you that already has the solution. You don't need to know how the solution will come. You just need to ensure that the last data packet sent before unconsciousness is one of absolute trust. This allows your double to neutralize scarcity timelines and organize the encounters and ideas you will have the next day. Let's bring this into practice with a real example. Say you had an exhausting argument at work. If you go to sleep ruminating on anger, you will wake up in the same timeline where that conflict tends to worsen. The sleep protocol dictates that, in the minutes before drifting off, you should breathe deeply and mentally declare, "I hand this conflict over to my double so that it may find the best potential for everyone involved." By doing this, you are literally using the creation codes to rewrite tomorrow. You wake up and, inexplicably, the other person has changed their attitude, or a technical solution appears out of nowhere. This isn't luck. It's a software update of your physical reality done while your body rested. For followers of scientific spirituality, understanding the alpha-theta state is crucial. It is the moment when the barrier between the conscious and subconscious is thinnest, allowing for unfiltered communication with the matrix. By programming this window of time, you stop being a passenger of fate and become the programmer. It is during this period that you can order a new line of prosperity. You must feel the relief of already having achieved your goal, letting this magnetic frequency be the last signal transmitted by your heart before deep sleep. In this state, information travels at superluminal speeds, rearranging your tomorrow before it even happens. Mastery of time requires you to understand that tomorrow is just a projection of what you processed tonight. If you wake up feeling that nothing has changed, it's because your nightly exchange process was just a recycling of the past. Mastering the sleep protocol is about ensuring every morning is a premiere, not a rerun. This is where you begin to notice real quantum leaps in your life, opportunities that appear out of nowhere, rapid healings, and mental clarity that seems to come from an external source. You are finally playing the game of life with the user manual in hand. This knowledge is the key to real freedom. If you feel this protocol is what was missing for you to finally level up, take this moment to like and subscribe to Quantum Genesis. By subscribing, you are sealing your commitment to your evolution and joining our community of conscious manifestors. Let reciprocity flow and let's raise the planet's frequency together. Many try to apply manifestation techniques before bed and fail miserably because they make a crucial mistake in the last 5 minutes before passing out. This error acts as a virus that sabotages the entire timeline update, keeping you prisoner to old patterns. If you don't fix this error now, you will keep repeating yesterday and tomorrow, regardless of how much you meditate during the day. I will show you how to avoid this trap and ensure your attunement with quantum syntropy is unshakable. Psychic entropy versus quantum syntropy. In the journey of manifestation, many seekers experience a common phenomenon. They manage to touch a new reality, only to feel it slip through their fingers days later. This happens because of the conflict between psychic entropy and quantum syntropy. Entropy is the universal tendency toward disorder and the repetition of old-found low-energy patterns. In your mind, this manifests as resistance to the new. Your biological brain is wired for survival, not necessarily for your expansion, and it views a sudden jump into a new timeline as a threat to its established equilibrium. To maintain the sustainability of your new reality, you must learn to navigate this resistance without letting it collapse your new wave function. Quantum syntropy, on the other hand, is the force of informed order that pulls us toward our highest future potentials. While entropy pulls you back into the past, syntropy is the attraction of the future version of you, the version that is already successful and fulfilled. The struggle most people face is that their psychic gravity is too heavy. They carry so much emotional baggage from the old timeline that they create a drag effect. To sustain a new line, you must realize that you cannot bring the old you into the new world. Maintenance is not about working harder. It's about refining your internal structure so that it can hold the higher voltage of the new reality you've syntonized. Consider a practical example. You've successfully syntonized a timeline of financial abundance and a new high-paying opportunity arises. Suddenly, you start feeling an inexplicable urge to overspend or a sudden doubt about your competence. This is psychic entropy trying to pull you back to the safety of being broke, because that's what your nervous system knows. To counter this, you must apply a creation code of sustainability. You must recognize the resistance as a biological reflex, not a truth. By observing the urge without acting on it, you remain in the flow of syntropy. You allow the new reality to stabilize until it becomes your new comfort zone. The secret to long-term success in the quantum genesis methodology is understanding that a timeline jump requires a refractive period. Just as a physical wound needs time to knit back together, a new timeline needs time to anchor into the physical 3D density. During this period, the universe will often present you with echoes of your old life, people or situations that test whether you have truly shifted your internal signature. If you react to these echoes with your old patterns, you fall back. But if you respond with the calm of your new frequency, you solidify the jump. You are essentially proving to the matrix that your new address is permanent. True mastery is the ability to remain syntropic, even when the world around you seems entropic. It is the unwavering commitment to the information provided by your quantum double over the information provided by your 5 senses. This is what we call quantum resilience. When you master this, the jumps you make aren't temporary peaks. They become your new baseline. You stop being a person who has good days and start being a person who lives in a different state of being entirely. You are no longer fighting disorder. You are embodying a higher order of existence that the old reality can no longer touch. Maintaining the new reality requires you to deal with the echo of the old reality. Those lingering shadows of who you used to be that seem to whisper that this change isn't real. There is a specific secret to neutralizing this echo before it has the power to pull you back into the abyss of the past. I'm going to reveal how to silence those ghosts of the old timeline in our next discussion. Quantum leap, the phenomenon of applied non-locality. In the traditional world of personal development, we are told that progress is a slow, incremental climb, a staircase where each step requires years of grueling effort. But in the realm of quantum manifestation, we recognize a different law, the quantum leap. In physics, an electron doesn't travel through the space between 2 orbits. It simply disappears from one and reappears in another. This is the phenomenon of non-locality. When applied to your life, a quantum leap is that miraculous moment where the progress that should have taken decades happens in a matter of weeks or even days. It is an abrupt shift in your external reality that occurs because you have fundamentally changed your internal coordinates within the field. The science behind this involves bypassing the linear time constraints of the 3D world. When you align your creation codes with the frequency of your quantum double, you stop moving toward a goal and start becoming the destination. Since the universe is non-local, meaning everything is interconnected regardless of distance, your new identity can trigger a cascade of events that bypasses normal cause and effect. You might receive a single email that replaces 5 years of networking or a sudden insight that solves a lifelong health issue. These aren't lucky breaks. They are the result of you teleporting your consciousness to a higher energy shell, forcing the physical world to reorganize itself instantly around your new center of gravity. To ground this in a real-world example, imagine someone who has been struggling for years to get their creative business off the ground. They've done all the right things, the marketing, the hustle, but they are still stuck in the same income bracket. Then, they undergo a profound internal shift. They stop trying to be successful and start operating from the quantum syntropy of an established leader. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a global platform discovers their work. There was no bridge between the struggle and the success. There was only a leap. By abandoning the frequency of trying, They made themselves non-locally available for the frequency of being. The external jump was merely the delayed reflection of their internal teleportation. However, the reason most people never experience a quantum leap is that they are too attached to their current self. You cannot leap while holding onto the safety rail of your old identity. In the quantum genesis methodology, we teach that you must be willing to let go of the how and the when. A leap requires you to trust the information of the vacuum more than the evidence of your senses. If you keep checking your bank account or your circumstances to see if the leap has happened, you are effectively anchoring yourself back to the old orbit. You must stay in the new frequency until the physical density of the world has no choice but to catch up with your new location in the multiverse. This is the most exhilarating part of the journey, realizing that you are never truly stuck. No matter how deep the hole of the past may seem, the next orbit is only a vibrational shift away. You are not a prisoner of your history unless you choose to keep observing it. By applying the principles of non-locality, you become a master of the shortcut, understanding that the longest distance in the universe is the one between your head and your heart. Once that gap is closed, the quantum leap becomes not just possible, but inevitable. You stop walking the path and start being the path. The quantum leap is not luck. It is a technique. It is the systematic application of high-level consciousness to the material world. But to jump, you must face the most challenging part of the process. You need to learn how to die to the identity that brought you here. This ego death isn't a tragedy. It is the ultimate portal to the next level of your existence. But how do you navigate this transition without losing your mind? How do you read the signs that the leap is actually happening? That is exactly what we will decode through the lens of the observer in our next topic, the observer and the feedback matrix. In the world of quantum manifestation, the physical reality you see around you isn't a fixed, solid wall. It is a dynamic feedback matrix. Once you have initiated a quantum leap or shifted your vibrational signature, the universe begins to test your new frequency. This isn't because the universe is judging you, but because the matrix is a self-regulating system that needs to confirm your new address is stable. In physics, the act of observation collapses the wave function. Therefore, the way you observe your reality while it is still in transition determines whether your new timeline solidifies or dissolves back into the old one. You must become a master observer who looks past the shadows of the past to see the emerging patterns of the future. These patterns often manifest as synchronicities, those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. Perhaps you think of a specific solution, and an hour later, a stranger mentions it on a podcast. Or maybe you see repetitive creation codes like 222 or 777 in unexpected places. These are not just signs. They are the matrix providing feedback that your new frequency is successfully interfacing with the field. In the sub-niche of scientific spirituality, we view synchronicities as green lights on the highway of your new timeline. They are the universe's way of saying, the connection is established, stay in this state. If you ignore these signs, you miss the guidance. If you overanalyze them with the ego, you create noise that disrupts the signal. Let's look at a real-world example of how the feedback matrix tests you. Suppose you've committed to a timeline of high self-worth and professional abundance. Suddenly, an old client from your struggle years calls you with a lowball offer that is slightly tempting but beneath your new frequency. This is a bifurcation point disguised as a test. The matrix is asking, are you still the person who accepts scraps? Or are you truly the master of your new frequency? If you observe this through the lens of fear and accept the offer, you signal back to the matrix that your old signature is still active. But if you observe it with the certeza quantica, quantum certainty, and politely decline, you anchor the new timeline with a power that physical effort could never achieve. To navigate this effectively, you must learn to distinguish between old echoes and new seeds. An old echo is a problem from your past that resurfaces one last time to be neutralized. A new seed is a subtle opportunity that requires your attention. Most people fail because they give all their energy to the echoes, trying to fix the old, and they neglect to water the seeds. The master observer knows that whatever you give your attention to, you feed with life force. By intentionally ignoring the static of the old reality and focusing exclusively on the emerging synchronicities, you accelerate the materialization of your chosen path. You are essentially hacking the feedback loop by only acknowledging the data that matches your desired outcome. This phase requires a level of emotional discipline that few possess. You must be able to stand in a world that still looks like your old life while feeling entirely like your new one. This is the ultimate test of the conscious creator. You are not waiting for the world to change so you can feel better. You are feeling better so the world has no choice but to change. When you treat every event, good or bad, as feedback rather than fate, you strip the 3D world of its power to dictate your state of being. You become the programmer, and the matrix becomes your screen. When the signals appear, most people hesitate. They see the signs, they feel the shift, but they wait for more proof before they truly commit to the new version of themselves. That hesitation is exactly what disintegrates the new line, sending you back to the starting point. To successfully bridge the gap between the invisible and the visible, you must act with a specific type of inner conviction. I'm going to teach you how to embody quantum certainty, the final key to ensuring your new reality doesn't just flicker, but stays forever. Alignment with cosmic purpose, the master code. In our journey through quantum manifestation, we have discussed techniques, frequencies, and timelines. However, there is a fundamental law that governs the stability of any reality you choose to collapse, the law of unity. In the realm of scientific spirituality, we understand that we are not isolated islands, but nodes within a sentient, evolving cosmic web. When you try to manifest a timeline based purely on the small ego, driven by vanity, revenge, or a sense of lack, you are essentially creating a dissonant loop. These timelines are inherently unstable because they resist the natural flow of the universe, which is always moving toward expansion and collective evolution. To truly anchor a high-frequency reality, you must integrate your individual desires with what we call the cosmic purpose, or the master code. The master code is the recognition that your success, your healing, and your abundance serve a higher function. They raise the overall frequency of the matrix. When you choose a timeline of prosperity because it allows you to be more generous, more creative, and a better steward of life, you are no longer manifesting alone. You are now being supported by the syntropic wind of the entire universe. Your intent becomes a co-creative command. Because your desire is in harmony with the evolution of the whole, the vacuum provides the energy and the resources with much greater speed. You stop being a hacker trying to steal resources from the system and become an authorized developer, working in partnership with the source. Let's look at a real-life comparison to see why this matters. Imagine two people using creation codes to manifest a high-level leadership position. The first person wants it for the title and the power to feel superior to others, ego-based. Their timeline will be filled with friction, betrayals, stress, and a constant fear of losing what they've gained. The second person wants the position to mentor others, innovate for the planet, and express their highest talents, purpose-based. This second person's timeline is self-sustaining. Doors open effortlessly because the universe wants that person in that position. By aligning your personal why with a why that serves the consciousness, you essentially ensure your manifestation against collapse. You are anchored in the bedrock of the infinite. To find your master code, you must ask yourself, how does the version of me on this new timeline contribute to the evolution of those around me? This doesn't mean you have to be a martyr or ignore your own needs. Quite the opposite. The universe loves a prosperous, joyful, and healthy creator because that person becomes a lighthouse for others. When you syntonize a reality where you are thriving, you are literally proving to the field that abundance is possible, thereby opening that timeline for everyone else. This is quantum service. Your personal expansion becomes a gift to the collective. When you operate from this level of conscious personal development, the ego becomes a tool for the soul, rather than the master of your life. This alignment is the ultimate safety net for your quantum leaps. It prevents you from falling back into entropy because your new reality is tied to something larger than your temporary moods or doubts. You are no longer just choosing a life. You are fulfilling a destiny. This sense of mission acts as a vibrational anchor that keeps you locked into high-frequency lines, even when the air echoes mud of the old world try to distract you. You move from the anxiety of "will it happen?" to the calm conviction of "it is already done for the good of all." This is the highest expression of the quantum genesis philosophy. If you've made it this far, it's because you are ready to stop playing small. Leave a comment below with the word "aligned" if you are ready to use your power for the highest good. We read every comment, and seeing your commitment is what fuels this channel to keep bringing you this exclusive, high-level wisdom. This is our shared mission. Now that you have the map, the codes, and the cosmic alignment, you have everything you need to navigate the multiverse. But there is one final piece to the puzzle. Knowledge is just potential energy. It only becomes power when it is ignited. There is a final ignition step, the specific bridge that transforms pure information into a physical, manifest destiny. This is the secret of the true architect, and I am going to share it with you in our final topic. Destiny mastery. Becoming the architect of timelines. We have reached the pinnacle of our exploration, the moment where the scattered pieces of the quantum puzzle lock into a singular, life-changing picture. Throughout this journey, we have moved from the illusion of linear time to the visceral reality of the quantum double. You have learned that you are not a victim of a pre-written script, but a conscious programmer equipped with creation codes and the power of the observer. The transition from a victim of circumstances to a co-creator is the most significant evolution a human being can undergo. It is the moment you stop asking life, "Why is this happening to me?" and start commanding, "This is the reality I am now collapsing." Mastery is not about controlling the world. It is about absolute sovereignty over your internal frequency. The journey of the architect requires a shift from sporadic practice to a state of continuous being. You cannot be a quantum creator for 10 minutes of meditation and then a victim for the remaining 23 hours of the day. True mastery is found in the boring moments, the grocery store lines, the traffic jams, the quiet mornings. These are the spaces where you maintain your vibrational signature and refuse to let the psychic entropy of the world pull you back into the old grid. You are now in a permanent state of unity with your double. You walk through the 3D world, but your eyes are fixed on the 5D blueprints. This constant alignment is what turns a leap gut into a permanent residence in a higher timeline. Let's visualize your new reality. Imagine you are walking through your day, and instead of seeing obstacles, you see data points. Instead of feeling stress, you feel the excitement of the synthesizer. You recognize that every person you meet and every random event is a response from the feedback matrix. A real-world example of this mastery is when you can face a financial echo or a personal challenge and feel a genuine sense of gratitude, knowing that your calm is the very code that dissolves the problem. You no longer wait for the big manifestation to feel successful. You feel successful now, and therefore the manifestation becomes a mere formality, a shadow that must follow the object. Becoming the architect of timelines means accepting that you are a powerful bridge between the infinite and the finite. You have the map of the quantum vacuum, the fuel of the sleep protocol, and the compass of cosmic purpose. There is no longer any reason to fear the future, for you are the one writing it in the rocks now. The codes are in your hands, the double is by your side, and the field is waiting for your next instruction. This is the ultimate freedom, the realization that the only thing standing between you and the most magnificent version of your life was the belief that you were separate from the power that creates worlds. As we conclude this transmission, remember that knowledge without application is just a refined form of entertainment. To truly honor the time you've spent here at Quantum Genesis, you must take the ignition step. This means choosing, right now, one emotional state that represents your highest timeline, be it abundance, peace, or vitality, and refusing to let it go. You are no longer a seeker, you are a finder. You are no longer waiting for a miracle. You are the mechanism through which miracles occur. The universe is not testing your worthiness. It is simply responding to your certainty. You have traveled deep into the matrix of creation with us today. If this content has shifted something fundamental within you, let the law of reciprocity complete its circle. Like this video, subscribe to the Quantum Genesis family, and share this masterpiece with one person who is ready to wake up. By doing so, you are not just sharing a video, you are expanding the frequency of the new earth. Your journey as a master architect starts with this simple act of alignment. You are no longer reading or listening to this by chance. This content itself is the very first sign of your new timeline. The fact that your frequency allowed you to perceive this information is proof that you have already shifted. The next step is the physical materialization of your desires, and that process begins in the very instant this text ends. The bridge is crossed, the code is active. Welcome to your new reality.